Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca. So I am here from California, and I have to say, yesterday when I was sitting in the audience, I kind of felt like those people who get the Oscars and they're up here and they say, you know, I'm with all of these other people who have done these great things, and so it is quite an honor to be included with all of you out there. And it's quite humbling, I have to say. I'm a little shaky, so just bear with me while I get my bearings here. So I flew here last Friday, and it was 90 degrees in Los Angeles, so I was really hot. But then I got off the airplane, and I guess just the past 6 days I've been freezing. But I go back Saturday, and I think I'll be warm again. But while I was flying here, I watched a movie, and a question was asked in the movie. And my sister, who I started the school with, she used to always say, "What blows your skirt up?" Well, in the movie, I heard it said another way. "What makes you dance in the street?" So I ask you that right now. What makes you dance in the street? And what blows your skirt up? So the great thing about Muse School is that we ask the students this. We ask them to identify their passions. We ask them to really search inside and find out what lights them up. So Muse School is age 2 all the way up to 18 years of age. We have 200 students in our school. We started 12 years ago, and we had 11 students at the time. So it's quite a remarkable thing to say that we now have 200 students. But that's just the beginning, right? So quickly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my sister and me. This is us up on the screen 6 years ago. And gosh, we're a lot older, aren't we? This is my family. This is me in the middle. And I'm the youngest of 6 kids. And the reason I put that up there is because I had an amazing group of people that surrounded me as I grew up, and they encouraged me to follow my passions. They encouraged my sister Susie as well. So I show these pictures. That's me on the left, well, actually on the left, and then that's Susie on the right. So in America, you can study Western writing or Eastern writing, and so I was Western, so I rode on a Western saddle, and then Susie rode on an English saddle, and we were able to pursue this passion. There she is jumping. There I am jumping. So at Muse, everything is passion-driven, and I would say that when we started the school, it was all about really what lights up children and what makes them tick, what makes them go, what makes them dance in the street, what makes their skirt blow up. The Muse mission is inspiring and preparing young people to live consciously with themselves, one another, and the planet. Our founding principles are that learning is alive, sustainability is key, interconnections are critical, and we're ever evolving. The first one is really about bringing learning alive for children, really making it happen in front of them. Sustainability has always been our umbrella. When we started the school, my sister wanted it to be an environmental school, and I wanted it to be an individualized school, so we combined our forces to do so. I just lost the timer. Oh, there it is. It's up again. I got to make sure I'm following my time. And the other thing about interconnections are critical. We had this dream to spread Muse worldwide, so we want interconnections across the world. So it's wonderful that we're here on this stage, talking about the school. And ever evolving. We want to always be changing. We don't want to be stagnant. Our 5 pillars, and we're going to talk a little bit about this when I'm on the panel, because our 5 pillars are that children learn through passion-based learning, academics, sustainability, self-efficacy, and communication. We were recognized for our Muse blueprint, and these 5 pillars are in the blueprint. So every child from age 2 all the way up to 12th grade is assessed through these 5 different pillars. So you see that passion-based learning, academic, sustainability, self-efficacy, and communication, they're all on the same par. So they're all as equally important for our students in California. One final thing, and then I'm going to go to a video. We teach something at Muse called the process communication model. The process communication model identifies 6 different personality types. We have all of those personalities in us. Each student from age 2 up to 18 years of age, we identify their personality. We learn that there are some personality types that are traditionally and typically discriminated against in traditional schools. So the process communication model teaches us how to motivate and communicate with students. I heard yesterday at the Finnish education agency that boys are less motivated. They're becoming less and less motivated. What we find in America is that when we see that, it has to do with a personality type. So at Muse, we want to make sure that there is equity across all personalities. And that is something I believe is truly innovational, and that I would love to, I would say it's probably the most inspiring thing for me as an educator. Right now I'm teaching high schoolers process communication model. I teach them about themselves, and they go out into the world and they knew who they are, so they're very aware of how they're motivated. So I think about you guys, you know, when you were talking about that yesterday at the ed agency. I'm going to go into a video now because I'm timing myself. I want to do the video and then talk about a couple more things after that. So this video is a beautiful portrayal of our students and our teachers talking about what makes them dance in the street.
When you learn math through your passions, you get to learn it in a way that you really like to learn.
My passion is a trampoline.
My passion is rocket ships.
My passion is art.
My passion is dragons. They breathe fire and they cool and they fly.
My passion is T-Rex. My passion is T-Rex.
My passion is Pokemon.
The great thing about Muse is it's unique in its ability to individualize learning. Muse offers and embraces diversity. And that's what we want our environment to be like. We don't want everyone to go out there being the same exact robots, learning the same exact thing. We want that diverse population to pretty much contribute to our society, making it better.
Muse allows me to study in an environment catered to my needs, which, in my opinion, is amazing. It's, compared to my old school, I wasn't able to do that. I would have to follow the curriculum, the structure of the school that was designed by the teachers and by the principal.
The thing I love about Muse is you have no homeworks, no tests, and passions. I'm really passionate about sharks because they're just beautiful creatures.
My passion is the circus because the circus has lions and tigers.
What we're doing here is kind of an edited version of project-based learning. We take project-based learning and we just dive a little deeper into it. We find when we make learning more concrete, more tangible, this is where the learning sticks.
I love the whole idea of the passion-based learning. Basically, like your learning kind of like focuses around what you love doing most. It kind of like makes the student more comfortable when he's like doing like his assignments, and the passion project especially.
The timeline or the process of completing a passion project is, once we know what their topics are, we're brainstorming together how they will incorporate math, English, science, and history. Those 4 subjects, those 4 core subjects, they're coming up with the ideas, and if I'm finding that the ideas that they come for aren't to grade level, or I think they could elaborate, I'm helping them through that process, I'm guiding them, but they're bringing the ideas to me first.
So my passion this year is mostly YouTubers. Like I want to learn about like the play buttons and like the famous YouTubers, how many subscribers they have.
My passion for this semester is focusing on how to build a brand, because I'm working on creating a granola company. And then hopefully, I guess it's more like a health company, and then my first product will be granola, and then I have other ideas that I want to stem from that, so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For me, it's a lot like less stressful, and you want to learn about something because it's something that you're passionate about, so it's not like necessarily something that the school is forcing you to learn, because you can connect it to your passion.
The reason why they don't want homework or maths tests because they don't want kids to be stressed out.
Well, at my old school, we just kind of did like regular classes where it was just math and like tests and things. But at Muse, you don't need to worry about tests, and you can just learn in a way that you really love it. So for the math, what I did was actually I interviewed Caitlin because she used to figure skate, and we were talking about it. And in figure skating, when you land a jump, you usually land on your heel to toe. So when you land on your heel, you weigh about 7 times your weight. And so what I did was I took some people from my class last year's weight, and then I times it by 7.
Well, the 4 main things of passions is math, literacy, social studies, and science.
The students' passions are reflected in a variety of ways. For example, in math class, I'll use the kids' names and their passions when we're doing a word problem. I'll try and relate it to the lesson we're doing in that sort of way on a daily basis. And then when we're doing something like English, maybe I'll be teaching the skill of researching and writing a 5-paragraph essay, something traditional. They're choosing their topic based on their passion. So sometimes I'm delivering it, and sometimes they're choosing it and giving it back to me.
What we do when we start the year off to get to know the students, they do little pieces of artwork or posters where they're just representing themselves and unraveling who they are, just to kind of figure out what are their interests, what are their passions. And then after we do that, we start to kind of look at the blueprint for Muse. The blueprint is a way that students can assess their own progress throughout the school year. So they look at the different parts of the blueprint by coming up with different goals that they have for themselves. So they'll start with an email to me about what their goals are, whether it is in academics, it could be their communication goals with their peers or their teachers, and what they expect to learn this year. We then get to start and kind of unravel that, unpack that, and start incorporating their passion into the academics in the classroom.
My entire middle school and high school experience have been with solely blueprints, and they're a much more in-depth way to assess yourself, and they don't necessarily fall on the expectations set by your peers or even by the people that came before you. They're set by you, and they're set by what you need to achieve in the time that you have.
Muse brings out the best of a child. I have a student who's come from traditional education, for an example, and this student has blossomed. This student, he has grown because he has his passion. His passion is surfing. Every part of surfing is integrated into his curriculum day. Matter of fact, he was not a writer when he came. The traditional notion of writing and setting up topic sentences never made sense to him, but now it does because he explores that from his surfing passion. He has delved into research. He has gone home and created his own work for himself because he's passionate about it, not because it's given to him and it's something that's required for time in a day. He's beyond that, and this child, I know and have seen his growth. And it's amazing, and it's what Muse does for children.
At other schools that I've worked at, there's been a very rigid timeline and trying to just get facts and information in, whereas this school embraces not only the individual goals and what students want to achieve, but also skill building and building life skills versus just rote memorization. So I would say that's a huge change that I've embraced working here at Muse, is just to be able to foster that love for learning and lifelong researchers and learners, them choosing what they get to learn. And we still, as educational facilitators, We will then help provide those resources and how they can relate their passion and their interest to the math concept, to the science concept. That's our job as facilitators.
I think it's a successful way to engage the students when they're having choice over what they're learning. They're more invested, they're more excited. They come to class with materials that they found on their own, and they're excited to share that with each other and with me.
And all my colors are instead of rainbow, just like my rainbow.
Can you count how many colors you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
She's pretty cute there at the end, I have to say. Just quickly, something that I was reminded of in my head when I was sitting over here is that when I came into education, I worked in early childhood, and I worked with infants and toddlers and preschoolers. And I remembered saying to myself, okay, play is so important for preschoolers, right? But why isn't it so important for elementary kids and middle school kids and high schoolers and adults? So that's been my passion, is being able to incorporate that all the way up to 12th grade. So one of the things that we do at Muse is one of our amazing teachers, she's a second grade teacher, we send out tweets daily to parents. And this is an example of an end of the day reflection where we ask the students, where were you open, resourceful, and persistent? This is 3rd grade. Another one, this is 2nd grade. Persistence is never giving up. Today we journaled about things that are tough for us and how we are growing our persistence. The parents love getting tweets throughout the day. It's also a wonderful way to remind the parents about different things that are coming up. And now we have our high schoolers helping our advisors push that out into for their parents. So I share these next few slides because this demonstrates our commitment to sustainability. Every student at Muse has a canteen like this. We don't bring plastic onto the campus, so the students are able to refill their bottles daily just in the different water areas throughout the 2 campuses. A few years ago, this is Susie and me, we installed 5 solar sunflowers that provide a significant amount of electricity to our primary campus. These are beautiful. They follow the sun, so they start with the sun at the beginning of the day and then they move. If it gets too windy, they go completely flat just to provide safety in case it should tip over or blow over, which I don't think that would ever happen because they're quite heavy. And I wanted to share this quote from a 10th grader. Learning at Muse is learning for a lifetime. Learning at other schools is learning for a test. And that's Zoe, 10th grader. This is her 2nd year at Muse. She says that dinner conversations are now beautifully held with adults that are her parents' friends, and that her parents' friends now listen to her because she goes to Muse, because she's so confident about when she's talking about her passions. These are different things that we do with our students. We bring in speakers that inspire. We set them up with mentorships, shadowing, and interviewing. I'm just going to skip that one because I want to share a couple more things. This last year, we had our first group of college graduates. So we graduated 9 students last year, and that was our 11th year of school. And that was a beautiful honor and a beautiful gift. And those students are going on to college. So I think that we're a real school now. I think so. And then I wanted to share about being a unicorn, because in America, unicorns are very unique, and it's hard to be a unicorn. So my sister and I had to be unicorns and persist, and it hasn't always been easy. And so I end with this quote from Barack Obama: "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we are the change that we seek." So go make waves, as my sister says, and make great things happen. Okay.